guys something real fast. Proverbs 24:10. If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. All right. It's a very simple statement, but has to do with your faith and everything else. And if you're walking with God, and then you believe what the Bible says, and you have been doing it, when adversity comes, or hardship, or lies and deception, they mean nothing to you, all right? They'll be deflected by faith, all right, by the shield of faith, and you don't have to worry about those things, all right? But when they're not, when you're running a front or faking it till you make it, all right, your true colors start to come out. You start to be seen for who you actually are, all right? There are a lot of people complaining to me about different things. They've seen videos that show that the rapture happens at a mid-trib, or they're losing their faith, or they think they're in the tribulation right now because their footsie hurts, or one thing or another. And I've told you guys multiple times what may come here. There's going to come a time when videos could be taken down, record what you can, so if you need help or if you need some encouragement, you will have that from whoever you need. To continue to read the Bible so you know it like the back of your hands, and to know it very well. And when these things come up, these lies and deception, you will be able to flick them away and deflect them, all right? So many times I hear that people need to be putting on the breastplate of righteousness, helmet of salvation, shoes of peace, belt of truth, sword of the Spirit, and shield of faith, and all this other stuff. And they put it on like incantations, almost like some hoodoo practitioners. And it's so silly, because if you know the Bible, if you've been practicing in your life, those things never come off. I don't take off the belt of truth when I go to sleep. I don't become a liar through the night only to put it back on in the morning. I always tell the truth. I have the peace of knowing that the Lord's coming back, and I walk with Him. I have a breastplate of righteousness. It's my job, it's my duty to represent Him wherever I go. I have a shield of faith. When lies come, I know what the Bible says. I can deflect it back, and I know the Bible. All right, it's a sword. All right, and I never take this stuff off, and neither do you if you're walking with Him. And the silly nonsense you hear from people that we need to be putting on and doing incantations is more of the silly wives' tales and the nonsense you see constantly on the computer. And you know, most of that stuff you can just completely shut off, because you're getting absolutely nothing from it anyways, all right? I want to tell you guys a story. All right, when I was a boy, very young, I got saved at 6 years old, okay? My story is different than other people's. All right, I want to read something to you real fast. Psalm 68:5. God will be a father to the fatherless and a judge of widows. Is God in His holy habitation. All right, but I heard that from my mother when I was a kid. I always wanted to have a father, meet my real father, and me and my stepfather, we didn't have the best. We didn't really get along that good. And yes, it's the one from the vision, all right? And I care about him, but we didn't get along that good. I didn't look up to him or anything like that. I had my grandparents that always cared about me a lot, and I looked at my grandfather like a father in a way, but a real father, somebody that I could look up to, somebody who's going to teach me to be the man that I need to be, the warrior, a man of honor who lives righteously and do the right things. I didn't have that, and it always hurt really deeply. But I was told that as a young kid from my mother when I thought about things like that, and she told me that God would be a father to me because I didn't have a father. And I did something. I took that to heart, like completely to heart. And I've always looked at that way. He is my father, all right? And I got saved when I was 6, not because of hardship, not out of being a devil worshiper at some time and then turning to God, not being broken, not because my girlfriend dumped me, or because I lived a life of sin and now I realize that the only way is through God. I had none of those situations. I did not come in at an older time. I came in very young, and I didn't do it because I was broken. I did it because I wanted a father, and I knew that God could be my father, and I gave my life to Him when I was very young, at 6 years old. As I grew up, hearing stories of great man David and things like that, doing incredible things, I knew as a child of God, Him being my father, that it was my job to represent him in every single thing that I do in life to be the best. When you walk out of a place and people say, "Who was that?" They tell you the name, but you always leave the representation of why you're the best because you walk with God. It's not some hokey crap. I mentioned it so many times, I can't stand the pussification of Christian men and the tight-wearing jeans, the beta male attitude of what they believe meekness is, which is weakness to them, that they're supposed to be acting like when it's prawn, it's a warhorse, restrained, very powerful, very dangerous. And they can't grasp this idea. And I applied it in everything that I did to always be the best. And before I even knew what the word meek actually meant, and I argue with God, or I talked to him on multiple occasions when I said, I know that it's right to fight. I know that it's right to defend the weak and to be strong so that they have a refuge, a pillar, a safe place that they can go to in adversity. And there's something wrong, and I don't know what it is, but I know in my heart from you that it is right to be a fighter and to defend the weak, even if the Christian church tries to say something other, only to be brought up older where he taught me that's exactly right, and that's exactly what I should be doing, okay? And in every sort of thing that I've done and applied, it's to be the best that I absolutely can be, and that's what I've done in life. So many times I hear that it's the Spirit, and the Bible teaches, it's important to be in the Spirit, and I agree, it very much is. We fight principalities and things like that, and to me it's also just important to be a representation in the physical. In fact, every single element that we're a part of, that we as believers are in right now, whether it's physical in the world, dealing with other people, or dealing with spiritual warfare and things like that, we should be absolutely the best. We always should have been the best, all right? And Christians over the years have done nothing but let that down. They've shown cowardice and weakness and pussification on every single level, and it's disturbing to the core to me, and I can't stand it. I don't particularly like to be around Christians because of this weakness, because of these fables and these lies that they tell. All right, I have a really, really hard time with it. And always, as I moved along through this life, having my hardships, dealing with sins and everything else, but moving and always knowing him as my Father and talking to him when I slipped up, always coming back, wanting to make him proud. I always wanted to know that there was others out there like me that had taken this same course, that had chosen this path of honor, of to be the best, to be legendary on a level unprecedented compared to the rest of the world, all right? And as I searched for this family and can't find it, of course, in Christianity, I thought maybe I could find it in the military. I wanted to be a Navy SEAL, a family that I could be a part of. And I did find something in the military. When you're with that brotherhood, they will give their life for you. They will fight beside you. And it's an incredible thing to know that. And it's not something that I really see in Christianity. I see a weakness or people falling in behind. Whereas when you're a warrior, you're on the battlefield, you don't have to tell them what to do. They know exactly what to do, all right? Because they've trained for it. They're living for it. If their buddy's getting shot at, nobody needs to say, go over there and help them. They're going to do it automatically. The same with me in that situation. And I thought in the Army, maybe if I made it to Delta Force or something, I could find this family. Because I'm not looking for ordinary or regular. I'm looking for the absolutely best of the best, the most legendary warriors that can possibly be anywhere in time and space or anything like that. And I've looked small, to be honest, in the military and in the world and stuff like that. And God's always held something bigger. He's pointing me to something bigger. Even if he hasn't shown me what it is, I know that it's there, and I keep searching, even if I have to do it alone. And I've tried different ways to try and maybe even create this family. And I've done the same. I've done this with the channel. I thought that I could take, which is what the channel's for, Bible-believing Christians that have read the whole thing, been stuck in church for years, need to have questions answered. They want to know about things like Bigfoot and UFOs and demons and how to deal with stuff in life. And I thought that I could take these people, and teach them, show them what I know from walking with God personally, and maybe create this family. Well, a couple months ago I got hit pretty hard. That will never happen. There is no way to teach you or drag you along with what I've been through, because it has to be a choice on your own. You can be taught so much, and then it becomes application, all right? And you guys are all way past that stage. Everything that you need to know and do is in the application point right now, right? I've taught you all the stuff that you need to know with what's going on in the world and things like that. You guys have seen enough. You know that there's a pre-tribulation rapture. You know that he is coming back, all right? You know what aliens are, Bigfoots, and everything else. I've discussed multiple things on why you shouldn't be messing around with the Q movement or with manifestation, all right? That people are sneaking into Christianity and stuff like that, and the dangers of it and the witchcraft involved, all right? And how to walk. You guys don't hear me talking about planetary alignments and stuff like that. I told you back in September 23rd, 2017, the only reason I was looking at it seriously is because it happened on Feast of Trumpets, and there was a number of events that were all taking place at the same time, simultaneously, and it was very suspicious, and it was giving it some real credit. Once that's passed, you don't hear me talking about alignments and things. Will the planets and stuff be in alignment in a story that God has written through time? I very believe that there will be. There's going to be all kinds of things that we don't know about. But to read it and understand it is like watching the iPet Goat 2 video and thinking that you know what they're doing. It's like looking at a picture, all right, or art, all right? That is somebody's interpretation on their own. It's knowing what they're thinking or what they're doing. It's something that you don't know. What you think they might be thinking might not be what they are thinking at the time, all right? And so, I mean, the nonsense that's out there, it's ridiculous, all right? And, you know, people talk about their watchmen and their prophets and everything like that, and you know, where are they? All right, what are they telling you? The same stuff that the Bible already tells you. All right, easy stuff that there's going to be a disturbance in November around the elections. Yeah, no kidding, there always is. All right, it's nonsense that they try to repatent towards you that you can get right out of the Bible, and they try to get you to pay for it, and most people do, and then they get led on some foolish nonsense that leads them astray, and then they're in doubt and they don't believe that the rapture is happening or anything like that. And I've heard so many talk about gifts and stuff that they have, and they're totally fake, all right? And you know, it's everywhere. I listened to a preacher not too long ago, about a month ago, and he was saying that he had the gift of deep discernment. He was living in Chile or whatever after he had taken the money from his congregation and lived down there for safety. And his first words coming out of his mouth were, the rapture is Darby's nonsense, and it doesn't really happen at pre-tribulation. It's like, it shows your deep discernment right there. The guy's a total phony and a fraud, okay? And the majority of them are. I've only seen a few people on the entire planet that have spiritual gifts, and you are going to pay a heavy, heavy price to have them, all right? I've told you before, you're holding up two pillars, not only of responsibility, but the weight of what comes against you, the ego and other things like that. It's unbearable weight. That weight, though, is also something that you will get to present. They're quadruplers, they're doublers, and representation or presentation when you get to stand before Jesus, beam seat judgment, you get to do that stuff. So if you're looking to be maxed out for masteries and whatever, then ask for spiritual gifts. Don't tell me about what you have, because you don't have anything. I've already looked at all of you, okay? I need to tell you something right now that you should have known the whole time. And when you call me brother and all this other stuff like that, it's nonsense to me, all right? Because you're not like me at all, all right? When I first got my gift way back in the day, and I was reading people like I always have, I read a book shortly after that called "Everything in This Book is a Lie, but It's Exactly How Things Are," okay? And it's not the point of the book. The book had some New Age stuff and other things like that. But as I read the book, I got to a certain part in the book, okay? And the guy was talking about something, and he said something in the book, and as he said it, I knew that he didn't actually know that. He was trying to push something. And as he spoke about basically green deals and stuff like that on how we need to have the world, and where they messed up back in time and stuff like that, it wasn't something that he knew or had any facts on, but he was pushing it like he did. At that very moment, I wondered to myself how it's possible that I knew exactly what he was thinking when he was writing. And this was something that had been new to me, and it had never happened before. Within the very writing of the book, I was able to read his mind, okay? I was able to look inside of him, okay? Do you understand where I'm going with this? It never stopped. It's only grown. It's only gotten stronger. I have been looking inside all of you. The moment you touch that keypad, whether it's your phone or your keypad, no matter where you are on the planet, no matter any place, You are opening up your soul, your heart, your mind to me, and I am able to take a look at you, okay? And you should have known that the whole time. You read the comments, you watch me rip into people for asking a stupid question or pushing something, and then somebody right down the line will ask the same question, and I won't rip into them. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's because I have some sort of anger issue? No, it's because I'm looking in their heart and I know exactly what they're about and what they're pushing. The one person wants to learn and genuinely doesn't know, while the other person is pushing some agenda or nonsense that isn't true, okay? And they need to be put in place. I've been doing it the whole time, all right? Tell me which one of your prophets and preachers that you esteem so highly can do anything like that. The only thing I've ever heard him say is that no man can look into another man's heart. Why, I've been doing it my entire life, every day, all over the place, wherever I go. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I've never once called myself a prophet or a preacher, right? I teach people different things. I know exactly to an extent of what I am, even though it has not been completely revealed to me. I only have the prophecy before I was born that I'd be special and blessed. And if living the way that I have is special and blessed, I'm going to tell you it's not the greatest thing. And I know that it's not talking about that. It's a carryover, all right? Whatever happens at the end of this, when I make it to heaven, it's going to be worth it. The pain, the suffering, what I have dealt with, what I've gone through, it's going to be worth it. The path of honor that I've chosen, okay? And you can have this too. You can push. You're never going to get a time like this before. Many of you are saved. You're going to heaven, all right? That's level 1 stuff. You're going in the rapture. That's truly wonderful, okay? But do you know that there are levels that are so much higher? And you don't get that opportunity anymore. Once this is passed, it's done. You've missed your chance to live for God and to give up the things of the world. That's kind of a scary thought, that you will never have another chance like this, all right? So while you are here, while you have these moments, while you're waiting for the rapture, push. You get to do it every day. You get to give up things of the world, decisions, all right? Hey, that girl's looking really fine. You can have some incredible sex with her, or you know that's wrong, and you give it up for God because you know it's the right thing to do. Do that. Vice versa with a woman and a boyfriend that's just coming along right now. Do you think that's a coincidence in this hour? No, it's designed by Satan to get you distracted, to buy more time, to get you into a sinning situation where you're not repenting so you can be left behind. There are multiple different things. It's a job, perhaps, all right, and an offer for money. But you're told that, hey, we know you like to talk about God and stuff like that. We'll give you this raise. Just tone it down a little bit on it. Do you do it, or do you continue to talk, all right? There's multiple different things, and it happens all the time. And you get to make that choice, all right, on what and how you're going to live your life, okay? And the things that you're going to give up. I have been offered many things in life, from steroids to other possibilities. You know, I could go fight, possibly, maybe make a life or a career by making millions in the UFC or something like that because I'm a fighter, right? But I know what the world has. I know where it's going to draw me to. I know the evil that's involved, the Illuminati and things like that. So I have given those things up in a sacrifice because I know it's more important to be drawn to God. But He knows the desires of my heart, okay? Just like He knows yours. And it will come back around 100-fold. I guarantee it, okay? Trust in Him. Let me read you something real fast. Okay, this is out of Matthew, verse 19:29 is Jesus speaking. And everyone that have forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. Do you think that Jesus is messing around when He says that? Okay? If somebody is pulling you away from God, you pull away from them. If you're going to get some property, but it could put you into a situation that pulls you away from you, give it up. Okay? You do this, and I promise you, your rewards will be unbelievable. We're talking about the master of the universe. People look at such small, trivial things, 5,000 acres, all right? It's coming from my mother, all right? Or, you know, some property or house or anything like that. And what God has, somebody who can spit out planets, 5,000 acres is like a grain of sand on the world's beaches, okay? It's a joke. It's so much bigger, and you can strive for it. And He says, go for it, all right? But it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you. I'm asking you, if you're watching me, if you've listened to me on my channel, all right? This isn't some pussification channel or a comfort channel. If you want that, there's so many other places that can go. I'm not here to give you comfort. I'm telling you how to be living weapons, all right? And to follow God and what to give up, because because it will be worth it in the long run, okay? You find what you're driving towards, and you push, and you give up everything along the way, no matter what it is, all right? And you will be tested. I have been tested, and it never stops. I thought, a long time ago, I knew that this day would come eventually when times were going to get hard, and I figured it was going to happen soon. And I thought it was a bad idea to have kids, because the government, the world, they'd have me by the balls, right? Many of you are dealing with schools and vaccinations and things like that. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So I avoided it. There's been times when thinking, it'd be great to have a house, but to stay in a job or to get that property would pull me away from my mission, to be able to talk to people, right? To talk about God and stuff like that. It would also keep me in a place. It's dangerous. So I've given that up. I've given up everything that I possibly can. The only thing that I thought that I might be able to get away with was to have a wife, somebody that thought like me, that would be happy to be on the field of battle, to go into legendary status, somebody renowned, one of a kind, all right? And I was told in 2014, after waiting for 14 years with no such luck, that there was nobody, there was no special one for me, all right? So even that is taken away, and I have struggled with that for a long time. But if that's the path that I need to be on, whether the struggle is still there or not, it's something that I need to do, okay? And if he's asked me to be alone, then that's what I try to do. It's not easy at all. It's the hardest thing that I can possibly think of, okay? And there are many other things, and each time it comes in, all right? If my family doesn't want to go with me, if they don't want to push, if they want to be wishy-washy Christians, then I'm stepping away from them, okay? I heard something savage the other day, and it was pretty good, and it was, don't talk about winning with losers. It's not their language. They won't understand. And I'm like, wow, that is absolutely savage. And you know what? It is absolutely true, though, at the same time. There are things that you're going to be striving for as a Christian, to push as close as you can. And others won't be able to keep up. Your family will fall away. Your friends will fall away. Other Christians and churches, they will fall away, or they will become jealous of you as they see you approach that, and they will do everything they can to drag you down, to pull you down, like it was when I was in the Army, when they see what I'm going for, when I'm trying to make it there, and they're pulling, and they're grabbing, they're clawing, they're gnawing on you, to keep you back, to hold you back, because of their weakness, all right? Because of their lack of strength, and they don't want to be outshone, outdone. All right, they hate that idea, so they'll pull you back in everything you're doing. And it's your job to step away from it if you have to. And on the mission that I'm going for, what I'm going for, what drives me, all right, should have been pretty obvious the whole time what I'm pushing for. I am a weapon. I always have been. And it was God that taught me how to be this way, okay? Pay very close attention to this. He's the one that showed me strength and honor and fighting. All right? That's not something you're going to hear from your pastor or your teacher, okay? This is coming from my Father, God. He showed me, and he used mysterious ways to do it. When I was very young, I needed an example of how to live my life, and it was God who showed me, Dragon Ball Z of all things, that I could be the greatest warrior and the kindest man at the same time, instead of what you see in the world where somebody just pretends to be strong or is strong, and they abuse their power and they believe that everybody needs to bow down to them. Whereas under God's method, the stronger you are, the more you carry, the more weight you put on, the more people you pull, the more people you help, the deeper in the mud you come, the further you sink while you hold others above you, okay? This is God's teaching. This is what he taught me, and he's used those examples, and he is the ultimate example of all, being the most kindest, loving Father, to die for everybody, to give his life, to take away sins, to give everybody a chance. And also the most lethal weapon to ride back and eliminate all evil, all right? And I desire to be with him, okay? And there is a ranking system in heaven. This is what I talk about. This is why I cannot stand the whole once saved, always saved crowd that's barely making it, bringing the arguments that we're saved by grace alone. Yeah, no kidding. That's the argument you have with the world. When you're talking to them, when they think, well, I'm going to get to heaven from my good deeds. No, you don't make it from that. All right? Yeah, that argument's real. It's not for other Christians. It's for the world. So when you start talking to other Christians and why they're living godly, that's something that we're asked and called to do because we love him, because we're about his business. And those that love him do their Father's business, all right? And that is why we fall, and that is why we strive to be better and to not sin, okay? The once saved, always saved crowd, they're losers that will end up in the tribulation. Most of them will cower down and they'll go to hell, all right? Most of them are on that path. You know why I speak so fervently, so hot about it? It's because when they touch that keyboard, when I see them write, I know who they are. I can see into their heart, all right? I have been the whole time. I can't stand the majority of them. They are absolute filth, all right? It's a level that I won't even speak on. I cannot stand them. Okay? The rest of you, all right? I'm never holding any of your sins against you. If you repent, if you feel bad about it, you're right where you should be. You're along the rest of us, okay? You're with me. You feel terrible. You can't wait to that day when it's all done. I've never held it against you at all. That's between you and God. And if you won't hold it against you, who am I to even think about holding that? All right, if you've chosen to put this behind you, then good for you. Keep doing it. It's the ones that are still loving it. It's that little valve in the heart that I see, the one that says, I still love the sin, and the one that says, I'm tired of it, all right? That flips, all right? And the one flip that still loves it will go into the once saved, always saved crowd. Well, the other one, all right, that doesn't, they will go into the righteous crowd, all right? Those are the ones that I'm after, those ones that I care about, okay? And that is where, you know, I want you to be, but also to strive, to push further, okay? Maybe you did come out of something that was bad. You don't have to stop just there. You can continue on. You can strive to be the best. You're going to come to a stage, you're going to have to, where you're in application. You've learned enough. Now it's time to witness. Every single one of us are called to witness, okay? Every single one. We always have been. It's the church that has created what we have now. So many people are complaining they're shutting down the churches because of COVID. I've never seen anything better in my entire life. It's about time they shut down those mausoleums, those pussification factories that just pump out weak Christians that are linear, don't know anything, have never grown, do not witness, are scared, don't believe in the rapture, just completely worthless. You wouldn't even know the majority of them, all right? That is what the churches have created. And the pastors are running for their lives now that they see adversity and they're told that they're going to be blessed, they're going to be prosperous, they're making millions of dollars off of them, and they can't handle it, so they've run for their lives, and they should, because they've led the people astray. When you are a Christian, all right, the second you become one, you need to know a real truth. You could be called to give your life, all right, and that is something that we will be proud to give up if it is required of us. At the time we're in, what I've seen, what might not happen, but you should always be ready for it. You should always have a strength inside to hold on in that hour, all right? And if you see adversity coming, when you see tests coming, the same way I've done it, the gym or in the army or other things like that, where I see stuff that looks like the mark of the beast. If you think in that hour you're going to have the strength, it's like going into something without any practice at all. You're going to fail. Use every adversity that comes now as that practice. Give it up. Walk away. Get done with the gym membership like I told you, where you had to scan your hand, all right? This getting closer to the mark of the beast. Every single day you get a chance to make these choices to be better, all right? Every single day, and you can keep drawing closer and closer. But you're going to get to a stage where you have to walk alone. When you guys say, when's the next video coming out? When's the next video coming out? It's like, who do I wait for to come out when I need to hear some information or something? Am I waiting for somebody that's above me that drops a video? Of course not. I wait on the Lord, like you should all be doing. All right? You don't need to hear somebody talk or tell you. If you do hear something that's encouraging, take it and go with it and thank the Lord. If you hear something from me, thank the Lord. Don't thank me. I don't need your thanks. I never have. All right? I'm not doing this because, I need some glorification from you. I'm doing it to help turn you into weapons so that you can be useful out there for God's kingdom, so you can bring more people in. That's what I've been doing the whole time, and I've hoped that through this, that there would be some magnificent warriors. I'm not talking about a lot. The only group that I've been trying to find would be maybe 10 to 5, now down to 1 on the entire planet. I've never seen it. They don't exist. It's not now. And this is what was hit with me about 2 months ago when I was talking on the last video, and I realized that it's not going to happen, not the way that I want it to. Those people exist, but they are back in the Bible time. They are back in adversity. The people that absolutely would burn at the stake and give their life for God if it was required of them, all right? And those are the brothers and sisters. When they say brother, yeah, those are the ones I'm looking forward to shaking hands with in heaven. All this other stuff, yeah, that's great if you go, but if you didn't do anything for God, what part do I really have with you? You're not a fellow brother. You're just another wimp that's dragging on and pulling other people down. I don't have a home right now. all right? And that was the price that I thought that I might have to pay to go talk to my friends one more time. I've been living in the wilderness for the past summer, all right, while I'm still going to work, trying to save up to get a house. I don't know what's going to happen with me, but I don't have time to be making videos and encouraging people. And yet, when I'm doing this, trying to hold myself up, drawing close to God, still working on sins that I have to give things up, you're pulling me. You're pulling me. When are you going to do another video? When are you going to grow up and walk with God like I've been telling you the whole time? Stop relying on people. You have graduated. It is time to use application. It's time to start walking in God. The way that you should have the whole time. There is no excuse for it, okay? You have all the information you need. You can go back. You can listen. It is your job. If you guys haven't read the Bible already over completely, you have failed miserably. You should be reading it every single day, walking every single day with God, and continuing to do so. Because if you don't, you're going to get stagnant, all right? Just like the treadmill scenario that I've talked about before with you guys. If you stand still, you will fall off. It's a continuous walk. You're always growing. You're always moving, okay? And you never stop. Your job is to be the absolute best. And what is the goal? What are we pushing for? What are these levels that are above level 1 in heaven, all right? What do you think James and John's mother was talking about when she talked to Jesus and asked if James and John could sit on the right and the left hand of Jesus at the table, all right? And he said, I don't have the permission to do that. That comes from God, and it's going to cost heavily. And James died early, but John was sent on. He wrote Revelations and other books and was boiled alive in oil. He was on the island of Patmos. The things he went through are indescribable. Did he go through it? Did he carry his cross? You better believe it. I think if anybody is going to be sitting on the right hand, if they've earned that position, it probably will be John. But as Christians, we're to be striving towards those positions to get to be. You will not get that chance again. You wonder how nobility and things are now, or how people were born rich in this time. This is all going to burn and pass away. That's going to start over in heaven, and there are going to be people at higher ranks with bigger rewards, with castle-sized houses, with privileges and things that you don't have, and you could have, but you were robbed by the very churches that kept this from you, and by Satan, who's been bribing you. Oh, you want a house. Oh, you want a wife. Oh, you want a boyfriend. But you know that it'll pull you away from God, and you end up choosing the world. Even though you make it to heaven, it's still his last laugh while he's in the pit. That's time you'll never get back, ever. All right? You have that time now to push with everything you got, to give up everything you got, to keep striding. Maybe you do have a kid. All right? Maybe you have made some choices before that are there. Consider them, what they are, but move on. You get to make these choices every day, and you can push to be the absolute best. What drives me? It should have been pretty obvious the whole time. I want the absolute front lines of Armageddon, all right? That's important to me. I am a fighter. He made me to be a fighter, and I want to be as close to Jesus as possible. When I was in the military, I was under the most weak, pathetic leadership you could possibly imagine, and it haunts me to this day. And whether that was allowed to happen for a reason that drives me, that I can never be under anybody else. The only person I ever want to answer to is Jesus himself, the King of Kings. I want to be right there, his right-hand man, if I possibly can. Well, when I was younger, I asked to be the most honorable man that I possibly could be in the world, and to be the greatest warrior that ever lived. When you spit something like that out to God, you were telling the ultimate coach something that you don't get to back up from. He will push you beyond limits. When people say, God only tests you with what you can handle, oh, that is a bunch of crap. He will take you into it until you almost die, and you will keep going, and you can't handle it, and you're dragging through, and you're holding on. And sometimes it's just absolutely too much weight. All right, but he will do that. He will take you through it, and he's still dragging me through it, all right? And I think that I've given up all that there is, and he will ask for more. He will ask for more until you're completely walking alone and you have nothing. Will it be worth it in the end? Yeah, you better believe it, but in a lot of times, like what I'm going through right now, it's hell on earth. It's terrible. It's not fun. It's not a good time. But have I ever asked you guys for anything? Have I ever tried to get money? No, because anything I do, if I lie to you, if I take anything from you, or manipulate the Bible that I already know what it says and what's true, all right, if I try to make a profit out of you, or for lucrative sake or anything like that, I will be robbing myself from my very goal. I am bound to the truth. My goal binds me into telling the truth and to helping you guys out and to doing what's right at all times. And if you know that, if you realize that, if you seriously see the fire in my eyes and how much I want to take out evil, how much I can't stand pedophiles and the filth that this world is run by, all right, you will be able to ride this wave. You know that I can't lie to you because it will rob me of that goal, all right? So take it and use it, okay? I'm telling you the truth right now. I have been the whole time, okay? And I've been pretty upset, all right? I've been upset with you guys that you haven't been able to figure out who I am the whole time, that I have to tell you that you say iron sharpens irons in some of your messages and things like that. You ain't sharpening me with nothing, all right? I already have that from God and what He's showing me. You're like butter being brought to the forge, okay? That's not going to do anything. It's a joke, okay? Now, if you get strength or you get sharpened from me, good, take it and run with it. But I'm not getting anything from you, and I've never asked anything from you, okay? I'm only here to help you while I continue on in my goal, and this is something that has been asked and required of me. He asked me to talk. I said, there's other teachers out there, all right? Does he really need me? He said, yes, he wants me to talk. So I did at the time, and I asked him, and very seriously, I'm like, God, you know the gifts that you've given me, you know the filth that's out there. I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you right now. There are people out there that deserve to die right on the spot. And if I were to ever run into some of these people, the absolute filth, I'd kill them in a second. And I'm like, if I make these videos, you got to make sure they stay away from me, or it's going to be a bloodbath. And he has answered. I don't care how much hate I get or anything like that. God has protected them after I had prayed about it, okay? I'm not exactly a nice, friendly, easygoing guy. I'm a weapon. I always have been. You guys should know this the whole time. That is my purpose, to be the most lethal killing machine that there possibly can against the forces of darkness. And when they are done, then finally, there can be some rest, there can be some peace. Until then, I keep pushing. I'm still pushing. I always will be pushing. That is who I am, all right? It's dangerous. If you can't comprehend the kindness that I hold in one hand and the danger in the other hand, then you've missed the whole point of everything, because you can be both at once. God taught me this. He showed me this. He's an example in this himself while he used me at a younger age as a cartoon. You don't always hear me talking about love and stuff like that. I don't always get to feel this. As a child born in a king's court, you are loved, you're cared for, you're joked with, you get away with things as you're younger. But as you grow older, you start to get more of a responsibility, and more as you grow into who you're going to be. And the king himself demands of his son, of his children, to walk a higher path, to be stronger. So while he lets others off on certain things like that, oh no, you get the strict path because you have more of a responsibility. And that's how it is. And that's the stages that I have been in for many years. So I don't always get to talk about the love, feely, good stuff and how everything's okay, because it's not. Most of the time I don't experience that. I experience the next mission, the next hardship, what's being taken away, what I have to go through away on this quest on what I'm trying to do. All right, and if you're going to be pushing for anything that's worth anything, you're going to experience it too. You're going to have your Job scenarios. He will test you. He will bring stuff on you when you haven't even done anything, all right? And these tests will come from him for his very own purposes. And I have had to experience these things wondering why and what the purpose is, and he will reveal it in his own way. He is infinitely wise. He's the greatest master and teacher and father that you can possibly have. Trust in him, but keep pushing, and don't come to me with your whining and your hardships. You have no idea of hardship, okay? Keep pushing, all right? For those that are going through hard times and things like that, all right, I'm sorry, but we're getting close to the end. You need to stand strong, because this is the hour where it's going to be required, your strength and your faith. And if it fails now, you had very little, all right? If you're listening to me, I've always asked more of you, okay? This is the unleashing. That's the point of the channel, to turn Christians that take it serious, who have read the Bible, who have been in church for a long time, who want to know if there's more, and turn them into living weapons so they can be worth a damn out there on the field of battle and leading people to Christ, okay? And then be recognized for what they've done in heaven at the Bema Seat judgment, not for just then, but for all time. And it will be for all time. It's actually going to last, all right? Put your treasures in heaven, where the moth and the rust don't have anything to do with them, where it lasts, where it's worth it, okay? And keep fighting, keep pushing. We're in the last hour. Whether the rapture happens this year or next year, you know what? If you have finally realized what I'm pushing for, then pray that it isn't right now, so that you can keep fighting and pushing, all right? But it is coming. It's coming soon. We see all the evidence around it. We're getting closer to peace deals. It very well could still be this year, or maybe it's not. But take it as it goes. Keep going. Don't be relying on people, and don't give up when you don't get a video from somebody, because you're not to be waiting on me or anybody else. You're to wait on the Lord. Everything goes to him. All the glory goes to him. And when you have any thanks, it goes to him too. You understand what I'm saying? All right? You don't need... I don't need to hear any comments from you. I don't want to hear your mind. I don't want to think about it right now. I really need a break from you guys, okay? You have the message. You know that it's true, all right? Take it and run with it and walk with God and do the best that you can, all right? And if I get an opportunity to talk more, I will talk more. If I don't give up and die. Continue on the path, because that's the journey of the Christian, all right? And you will walk alone. All right, application. All right, you're out of school. No more application. It's the church that taught that nonsense where you constantly go to somebody, you keep listening and learning, but you're never really going anywhere. That's what they want. Satan created this environment so that you would go nowhere. You wouldn't be dangerous, all right? That's why he hates me. Do you understand? He doesn't want you to know this truth. So continue on, keep fighting, and don't stop and don't give up. I really hope you apply what I'm talking about, all right? Take care. If I don't see you next time, I'll see you in the air. God bless.